What's going on, y'all? Brother Doug here. So, judging by this video, you can already tell that I read the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic, the MMPR comic. A few things about it. Prior to this issue, there was a zero issue, issue zero, like a prequel to this comic. This. There was a prequel to that. And it sold out and had like about 3-4 reprintings, so that kind of raised a red flag. Like, I gotta check the series out then if it's selling out. So I read it. It's kind of a toss up. Like, it was a really good book, but then there were a lot of flaws with it. One, I'm a big continuity person, and this book doesn't really. It's hard to explain. It does take into continuity, but then it doesn't. Kyle Higgins, the writer of this book, who also written for DC, like Nightwing and a couple other little Teen Titan books. But it's just so confusing, and if you don't mind, let's get started with this review. So let's start with the good. One, Kyle Higgins, he's an awesome writer. I loved his run on Nightwing when he was doing the New 52, the recent Nightwing. And also the art by, let's see his name, Henry Presetia. I hope I'm saying that right. But his art was just so like a blend of, photorealistic as well as, manga. Just a mashup of that because, Power Rangers is adapted from Sentai and Sentai is Asian based. So I could see why they would do that. But as far from story structure, it was very spot on. But that kind of leads on to the cons. This comic takes place after Green with Evil, the Green with Evil arc. And that took place in the 90s. That episode, and that whole 5-episode arc took place in the 90s. This book, however, takes place in current times. They have iPods, iPads, Kindle, flat screen TVs, basically technology that's up to date today. I'm like, wait, but isn't this supposed to be in continuity? They didn't have all that back in the 90s. Not that I can remember. I mean, if you, hey, you were ahead of the time then. I wish this comic would have been like a period piece, had to take place in the 90s, because the 90s was all that. I was born, just a lot of things. The 90s was just so hype and so live. It was just so, it had much pizzazz, but, not to say that today doesn't have current pizzazz as well, because, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't really up to date. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to build off nostalgia, keep it back in the 90s. And another element that Higgins added that wasn't really in the original Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin, the first season, he added a danger room. Now, for those who are comic fans, the danger room is like a simulator room that the X-Men use to practice, their missions, like fighting Sentinels or fighting, bad mutants or whatever. They had a simulation room in here, for Kimberly and Tommy to train in. I'm like, wow, how come that wasn't in the series? That was awesome, but then it goes back to what I was saying. It should just kept it in continuity, because I don't remember that being in there. A motion simulator. I mean, the only time I remember a motion simulator being in Power Rangers was in Power Rangers in Space. However, I did like the little Bulk and Skull comic they had at the end of this comic. After the main series, they had like a little short comic at the end of the book. It was pretty funny. So here's the thing. If you love Power Rangers Beyond Reason just like I do, definitely get the book. But if you just love, stuff to stay in continuity, then I guess the book isn't for you. But other than that, 4 out of 5. Now, aside from the Power Ranger comic, I also picked up my boy Miles Morales, Spider-Man issue number 2. And, I'm late on Black History Month, but my comic shop didn't have it. March Book 1. Basically, it's a story about John Lewis. John Lewis was part of the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. King. Definitely check it out, y'all. So, what other comics should I be looking into? What comics are you guys reading? Are you going to pick up the Power Ranger comic? Do you read March? Did you read Spider-Man? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And also today, my book comes out. I know you all have been asking about it. The Eccentric Marshall Taylor, Parks Gone Wild. It's on Amazon. If you have Kindle, Nook, any kind of ebook device, as much as I love, physical copies, I just want everybody to see it, since everyone's on this e-reading thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll have that on the description. I hope you guys read it, and like always, y'all, deuces.